Good evening. Good evening. Come on in here, everyone. Come on in. It is December 31st, 2020. December 31st. We are almost out of this year. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Come on in here. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in, everybody. It is the end of 2020. I cannot believe this year went so fast. It like flew. There were a lot of things going on during this year, but the year just seemed to and that was it. I mean, it's just amazing to me how fast it appears that the year went. Come on in. Good evening, Peggy. One of my number one fans. She's always on, cheering me on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am going to get started here in a minute, just giving some people time to get on. I know people will be busy later on, maybe viewing end of the year services from home on Zoom. Some churches are in, so I know some people will be attending church. There are, although they're asking everyone to stay in, I'm pretty sure people will be going out to parties and to bars and to see lights wherever they can find them. But I, for one, will be in the house. But I wanted to take an opportunity this evening. First, my topic, you know, we have been doing under construction for the past 3 months. And this month, I've actually been talking about goals. So, of course, I was going to end the year with the last bit on goals. Then I decided, no, I didn't want to do that. And I said, well, it's the end of 2020, so I'm just going to do so long 2020. Well, then I even changed my mind from there. And I decided I didn't want to just say so long to 2020. You know, we can find so many things that were wrong this year, and it has been a tough year for so many people, but we all made it through. We were alive during 2020. We are still here. So it was not the end of all. So what I decided to talk about instead of so long 2020, because I don't know about you, but I did get some good things out of 2020. Like I say, I'm still alive. I got a new grandson during 2020, and he's 4 months old already. I cannot believe that. I got a new daughter-in-law, Carrie, during this year. So I have really been blessed this year. So I could not go out just saying bye 2020, you know, don't want to see you, glad you're gone. But there were some things that I think were good during this year. So instead of talking about so long 2020, what I'm going to focus on tonight is instead in the midst of the storm. In the midst of the storm. Because if you are a believer, you know that no matter what you go through, if you know who you are, you can come out of that storm. So, like I said, even though we had some horrific stuff that happened, it was not all bad. So 2020 was a year that we thought would be like no other. You know, in 2019, we were looking forward to 2020, and we just could not wait for 2019 to be over so we could get into 2020. It was just another year that everybody was rushing to get to so that they could enjoy it. And it came in like a rushing wind. The wind picked up, the storm clouds began to blow, and then we began to encounter some things. Yes, we did. First, there was a disease that we had never encountered before. Never. That disease turned into a pandemic. Yes, it not only spread in our communities, our cities, our states, but it spread all over the United States and all other countries. So that disease became a pandemic. And you know, people did not take it seriously at first, and that even includes our government. And some today still don't take it as seriously as they should. Although the world has lost so many people to the coronavirus, COVID-19, it has taken some people out. You know, people thought, oh, I just have a cold. I just have a runny nose. I'm just having problems breathing. And to go into the hospital and not come out again. Our seniors living in assisted living facilities and nursing homes and rehabs, because people were not taking it seriously. They weren't taking the right protocols, the right safety measures. Lives were lost. Yes, the pandemic was a horrible, horrible thing that we incurred during 2020, and it is still going on. Good evening, Tamika. Thanks for tuning in. Love you. And then we had that going on. We had people saying you need to wear masks. Some people saying, no, you don't have to wear masks. The current president saying masks weren't necessary. More and more people were getting sick. Then on top of that, while that storm was brewing, here comes something else. Now you may say it's not a big deal, but I think it's a big deal. But I am a seasoned person. I'm not just a spring chicken, a little teeny bopper or whatever. I've been around for a while. And for my entire life, there has been racial tension. My entire life. So this year, to me, it has not been any different because, we go along and people say, oh, it's getting better. It's getting better. If you ask me, things change, but it has not gotten better. Minorities can do more. They can go to more schools. But as most of us, or the majority, are treated the way they were treated 20 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago. So here we are in the midst of this pandemic, and all of a sudden, things start happening again. And, you know, sometimes people will tolerate stuff, they'll talk about it, they'll complain, and they'll talk about it some more. But then people get to a point where they say, you know what, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And that's what happened this year. You know, first it was George Floyd. I can't breathe. You know, people began to make light of that, but the man could not breathe. I would not have been able to breathe if someone had their knee on my throat. And they didn't show it for probably another month or so, but then you could only see the one officer with his knee on his throat, while around the corner of the car, 2 other officers was on this man. So no, it wasn't a joke. He could not breathe. He was a human being, whether he did something wrong, whether he was stopped and he was innocent. He was a human being, somebody's child. You remember, he called for his mama. Yes, he was someone's child. And you know, although he was 46 years old, he was an adult. He did not deserve to be treated that way. Then on top of that, we had some more incidences, but we had Ahmaud Arbery in Glenn County, Georgia, 25 years old. Had he been going through the neighborhood, taking things out of model homes? Well, I had a home built, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. Someone came in my house and did things. We didn't go around looking for him to kill him with rifles. So if he did, there wasn't a reason to be looking for him with guns. Apparently you think you knew who it was, so why not call the police? This is what the person looks like. This is a problem we have. Who gave you the right to take the law into your own hands? But another life taken. 25 years old. Breonna Taylor, Louisville, Kentucky, 26 years old. So they had a warrant. But do you just burst in someone's house and you don't knock, you don't do anything? She was innocent. She wasn't doing anything. Another life taken. In the midst of one storm that's already brewing, here comes something else. Then people just like, you know what, enough is enough. We're not going to take this anymore. Then they began to protest. People began to protest. Yes, everybody, this is America. Everybody has the right to protest. However, there is a right way and a wrong way to do everything. So while you were out there protesting, how many had on masks? How many were 6 feet apart? How many were hitting, kicking, beating innocent people that had not done anything to anyone? How many were burning the businesses of people who had not done anyone? The person that might have been teaching your child in school. The person whose child may be a friend of your child's, even though one is a minority and one is not. But in the midst of the storm, these are the types of things that were happening. It's 2020. And then the third and the last thing that I want to bring out was a presidential election. And you might say, why is she bringing that up? Well, I'm not one that, I always vote. I do, think it is the right thing to do, to try to keep up with who is running, what are they running for, and to vote. That's my right as an American. But as far as just following every single thing that happens in the political realm, that's not me. However, because of everything that has gone on in the last 4 years, this presidential race had been a little bit more important to me. I really, really, really wanted to see what was going on, what were the issues, what were going to be the responses. When I watched that first presidential debate, I was like, what in the world? Natalia, can you feel me? What? That debate was just like a two-ring circus. If anybody needed to laugh that night, they had a laugh. If anybody wanted to get angry, they had a right to get angry. If anybody thought, I thought this man was crazy, but he's a fool, they found out that night. That was the most ridiculous thing they could have placed on TV. That was a waste of information on TV, is what it was. That was just horrendous. But I say all of that. Everything happens for a reason. So those were 3 horrible things that happened in 2020. Hello, Dan. Thanks for tuning in. But everything, as we went through the storm and all these things were happening, wasn't all bad, because everything happens for a reason, and there is a time and a season for everything. So that was why tonight I had to talk about in the midst of the storm, because even though all these bad things happened, there had to be something positive that came out of all of this, because if not, I don't think it would have happened. So first thing is the pandemic. Now, the pandemic was a new source of a turmoil for most people, because people are used to being sick with different diseases, the flu, major illnesses, lupus, just diabetes, all types of things. But here was something new. And with this disease, this pandemic, people got anxiety. Some people got mental issues. It impacted people financially. People lost their homes, their cars. People lost their loved ones. That was a sad set of affairs. So I guess you say, well, what could have been good out of that? Well, it taught us, I can say it taught me a lot. So it should have taught all of us something. It was a storm, but we can come out of a storm and be even better. For one thing, I said, people lost homes, people lost cars, people didn't have food. Why? Because the pandemic came, small businesses went out of business, people lost jobs, whatever. And guess what? One of the things that I always teach, don't spend everything you put your hands on. You have to save. So this is one of those times when, I had a 2019 Maxima. I just had to go get a 2020. My payments went up. My insurance went up. That was an additional $300 out my pocket every month. Guess what? That was $300 you could have been saving. Am I trying to spoil things for people? Yes, no. People deserve to have nice things that you work for, but sometimes you got to sit down and think, can I really afford this at this time? Is this a good time to buy that? Yes, I love the style of that Maxima. Boy, it looks sweet on the road, but can I really afford it now? And I'm thinking my car payment will probably go up $50 to $75. Are you thinking about the car insurance? It's going to go up too. Do you have any type savings? If not, it may not be a good time. Wait. And then, if you wait, you get it when it's brand new, you paying that price straight off the showroom floor. Wait 3 or 4 months. Get one that the vice president drove. He got 5,000 miles on it and they'll take $15,000 off of it. You have to begin to think. sometimes and do things wisely. So in this time of a pandemic, it was a good time to, think about it. I've been spending more than I should. I never save. I don't, I live from paycheck to paycheck, and it's not because I don't make enough, but I just spend everything I get my hand on. Can't do that anymore. So it was a good lesson for some people. Some people just would not have had it anyway, but some did. Then technology. There were a lot of people just afraid to death of technology. Seniors, hey, I'm not gonna get on what? Zoom, Skype, what? Not me. I'm not doing that conference call. What do you mean conference call? We pray on the phone? I'm not doing that. What has happened? In 2020, seniors at our church are loving it. They're on Zoom. They do Facebook Live. And they're having a blast doing it. So they have learned. So people during this pandemic having to stay in the house, people are learning new technology. They're getting their house organized, getting closets organized, cooking more at home for their family. They're not buying as much fast food. So all these good things are coming out of it. People are learning who their friends really are. We can always say, that's my friend. I know that's my friend. But when it really comes down to it, when you really need somebody, that's when you find out who your friends are. So if you're stuck in the house because COVID got hold of you, who is the person that calls you up and say, hey, just calling to check on you? You need anything? I'll be glad to come by. Put it on your porch. I have people. I have COVID right now. And I have people, we hardly ever talk, but they send them texts. Hey, sorry to hear you have COVID. I'll be glad to come by your house and drop something off on your porch for you. Just let me know. That's a friend. Now that's a friend. A friend is not somebody that always has to run to your house and see what you're doing and come to cookouts and parties, but a friend is someone that's there when you need them. So some people found out who their friends really are, and you have more friends than you ever thought. Also, this is another time of friendships, genuine friendships. Now, I have found some, not found, but I have met a lot of people during this year, and I have some close friends that I have, I come to call them my friends. I know they're my friends. Have never, ever met them in person. I talk to them on the phone, text them. We correspond via Zoom, StreamYard, or WhatsApp, all of this. But I know they're my friends. So this pandemic, while it was horrible, horrific, it's not over. It's what I said about 3 months ago. It loses steam and then it picks back up. So right now it's picking back up again. We have the vaccine, so hopefully that is going to help. But while we have the vaccine, we have another strand of it. So, it's just all over the place. So the pandemic, while it is horrific, it has its moments. So when you're in the midst of the storm, you cannot just take it all in as negative. You will drive yourself crazy. This is where the anxiety and the mental health issues come from. You have to, if you like to read, find some books to read. Got kids, have fun with them. Get on the floor, play with them. Know it was Christmas, they just got toys. Interact with them. You can, if you have older kids, you can't be in the house with them. Zoom with them, have that conversation. I have a friend, her and her family, they get together every Sunday, 3 o'clock, like clockwork. That's just something they do. So there are things to do. We just have to make the best of bad situations. So that was one of those things in the midst of the storm. Now, all the racial and social unrest, it opened the eyes of many. Now, I've said when I started out that for my entire life, I have lived with prejudice, race, racism and all of that. However, what I did not say is that I guess, I don't know, my parents never taught me negative things about other races. So I had that. And then I went to began going to school with other races when I was in 8th grade. But like when I was in high school, my two best friends were white. And I have always been taught to treat people like I want to be treated. So when people are nice to me, I'm nice to people. And I can tell you that there are nice people of every color. So whatever shape. So there are bad people and they come in every color, shape, and size. And there are good people and they come in every color, shape, and size. But what this time of racial tension did, a lot of people, and I'm not just going to say your everyday Joe, but I'm talking about professionals, people on TV, a lot of your celebrities, a lot of your organizations, they were trying to get together to find out, I always thought that I was fair to people. I've tried to treat people right, but I know there is a such thing as, I'm trying to think of the word they were using, what is it? White privilege. What can I do differently? Can I have some honest conversations with people? Tell me exactly how you feel, how you make me feel. And I've been on platforms with people and have people, just break down and cry. I had one lady, she said she thought this person was her friend until one day the lady reached out and touched her face and said, "Oh, I had no idea your face felt like that." Okay, so what did she think her face felt like? She's a person that made out exactly the same thing. Just, to me, like you got cars, you got all those cars, and you have 20 people in a room with 20 different, what can I say, BMW 750s. But all 20 of them can be different because they either got different colors on the outside, which I'll say is your skin, or the interior may be different. So that could be the color of your hair or your eyes. So they are all different, but they're all same car. So, that really hurt her because she thought that was her friend. But, she was just looking at her from a whole different perspective. But I do think that a lot of people did sincerely do some work on trying to be different, trying to understand, and trying to put protocols in place of what can be done to make changes where changes need to be made. As I stated, there are good people and bad people. There are good cops, there are bad cops. All of them are not bad. I got several of them in my family. And I know they're not all bad. But, you have to give people an opportunity. You can't just go around hating everybody. You just can't do that. That's not the right thing to do. But you have to give people an opportunity. Then let's talk about this election. So, I said that the debate was a circus, and it was. However, I really think that if that debate had not been as hilarious and ridiculous and ignorant as it was, well, the debate wasn't ignorant, but the platform was, that the election probably would have gone a little bit differently. But I think that debate really opened the eyes of some people to show them how, this is really what we're working with. This is what we have been working with for 4 years. Do you see where you are? I don't know where you thought you were. I don't know what you thought you were doing, but are you listening? Do you see what you're working with? So I really do think that made a big difference. So, as we go on, sometimes things are painful, before you get to the outcome, and the outcome is better. And that comes with a lot of different things. It's just like a new pair of shoes. You may put those shoes on at first, and it's like, oh my goodness, these things are pinching my toes. Are they really going to keep pinching my toes? Let me put on the other one. And as you get them, you break them in, all is well. You get some aligners. Why do you have aligners? Because my teeth are crooked. I want my teeth to be straight. Put those things in your mouth and like, oh my goodness. People told me that they would straighten my teeth. They told me they were faster than braces. They did not tell me they hurt like this. They hurt, but in the end, you have straight teeth. So it's worth the pain. Chemo. Nobody would say chemo is their friend. But if you've ever gone through cancer, I have. The radiation, the chemo, it's not good. It makes you lose your hair. Some people, makes you lose your taste buds. It makes you sicker, feel sicker. It makes you weak, or whatever. But if it does what it's supposed to do, how can I say? If it does what it's supposed to do, you will feel so much better. If it gets in there and gets it all and kills it all out, it's well worth what you had to go through. So although 2020 was a time where we had to go through the midst of the storm, and it was a storm, I think that we should all have learned some good things out of the storm. We all should have grown, and we should all have come out grateful because we're here. So again, I'm grateful for 2020 because I learned a lot during this year. You know, I've had family members that have COVID. I have family members that have COVID now. I have COVID. We have been blessed that it has not put any of us in the hospital except our grandmother, mom. She's 97 years old. It put her in the hospital, but she didn't stay there very long. She's a strong woman. So I'm blessed out of that as well. So that part was good for me. I had an opportunity in the midst of the racial tension to be on a work group and to give my opinion and my thoughts of how things could be improved, work. So I appreciate that. And then this election, I'm glad the way it turned out. And the debate gave me a big laugh. So that was one thing. But I am so grateful, so very, very grateful for this year. Like I said, I didn't lose any of my family members, close family members. I have my children, my husband, my grandchildren. I got a new daughter in love this year, love her to death, along with my Tiki and Cynthia. And I got a new grandson, Grayson, who's 4 months old. He's my sixth heartbeat, and I love him along with my other heartbeats, Tiara, Dan the second, Aubrey, Natalia, and Michaela. Those are my heartbeats. So I feel like I am blessed. So I am truly grateful for 2020. I am looking forward to 2021. But this year was loaned to us for us to make the best out of it. So I'm not going to complain too much. So that was my in the midst of the storm. I thank y'all so much for supporting me this year, being with me as I grew and learned. Launched my platform, Build Your Best Life, to assist young men in building a better life. That is my passion. I wrote a book, and my book is actually for everyone. It's Build Your Best Life. And in this book, it will help parents, grandparents, mentors, pastors, coaches, just about educators, everyone It will give you some information and insights to help others. It will help all our young people. My passion is to help young men, but everyone needs a hand up every now and then, and this will help all of our young people. It's a great tool, if I must say so myself. You can get it on my website, www.buildyourbestlife.org. That's www.buildyourbestlife.org. And on my website, you can find out, excuse me, more about my platform, more about me. My web store is out there where you can get the book. And also, you can find out about my services. I do speaking engagements, webinars, excuse me, when we can safely get back into the schools and other organizations. I will be out doing public speaking, but right now my speaking is via webinar. So I appreciate that for you. And I want to say a happy, happy, happy New Year to everyone. I want you to be blessed. Do something that will make you happy. This upcoming year, you only have, about 4 hours, almost 5 hours. And it'll be a new year, but do something to make you happy. We have a life that has been loaned to us. We need to make those lives that we have the best that we can have, to be the best that we can be for ourselves, to be a support for our families and love on them. But again, I just thank everyone so much for supporting me this year. I have had a ball meeting all the different people and doing everything. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you Saturday morning, January 2nd, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. And I want to close with this. As always, as you go on your journey of life, there will be rough terrain, distractions, and detours. Don't let these negative aspects of your journey stop you. Though they may slow you down, keep going. Have that faith. Keep going. God loves you. Have that faith. Overcome those obstacles. Don't let them stop you. They may slow you down, but don't let them stop you. Keep going to be the best you. Build your best life and have fun with your family in 2021. Love you all. Be blessed. See you in 2021. Stay safe. Don't be hard-headed. Stay safe. Love you.